Hey there, it is Carsman50 from the Hardware Diversity Discussion, and today, after 2 years of having a YouTube channel, we've finally got a build on the channel. We'll move on to who we're building a computer for today, and it's my friend Dima. How are you going?
Good, yourself?
Not too bad, not too bad. So, I understand that your computer was not the best. It was a bit old.
Bit old.
And frankly, you're trying to push too much out of it to make it modern.
Make it fast.
Yeah, make it modern enough. So what were you running?
An i5 2500K.
Yep.
A 16 gigs of, I think it was Corsair Vengeance RAM.
Yeah. It looked like a bit of a mix up of G-Skill and Corsair stuff. Yeah.
And a GTX 1060 3GB, which was probably the newest thing in the.
Yeah, definitely.
build.
Yeah. I mean, it looked quite good, and it was okay. It did the job.
It ran, but.
Yeah, and I think, certainly getting the all-in-one last year was quite a good investment to help that 2500K push itself to 4.5 gigahertz, 4.6.
Yeah.
But just in today's climate, cores are king.
Yeah,
definitely.
The more cores you have, the better.
Oh, for sure. And I just can't imagine anybody today running around with a quad-core CPU. It shouldn't happen.
No, it shouldn't happen, but it just does happen. Though.
It does happen. Yeah. So I mean, what do you want to do to it? What have we got on tap?
We've stuffed a Ryzen 5 2600.
Yeah.
Not the X.
Not the X model. No.
The X, and 16 gigs of RGB. What's the one?
Corsair Vengeance. Yep. Corsair Vengeance memory.
DDR4.
Yep.
3000 megahertz.
3000.
RAM.
Yep. And a very, very nice MSI titanium motherboard. That's a very, very nice system.
An X. Oh no.
Yes. The X Power.
X Power.
Yep. X370. Yep.
I was thinking, I was like, wait, what? What am I trying to say?
I don't know. Yeah. Fair enough. I understand. Sort of model names for things are very, very complicated sometimes.
Nowadays they are. With all this new shit.
Yeah, all this X's and Z's and GTs, and it's like. What? Why? Yeah, on the R9 as well.
R9,
yeah.
The i9s.
Oh yeah. Don't get me started on
those.
that. No.
Nah. Well, we should crack on with the build.
Yeah, we should definitely crack on the build. We'll have a time-lapse footage in here, and we'll show off some various bits and pieces along the way. And then at the end, we'll do a conclusion and some benchmarks. So, we'll see you
later
in a little bit.
Okay, bye.
Bye. So firstly we had to set up a wee test bench because Ryzen 2nd generation doesn't support the 1st generation chipset by default, so we had to update the BIOS, so we had to set up a wee test bench with his components and my Ryzen 7 1700 along with the legendary GeForce 7600 GT. Here we are updating the BIOS. It took a few attempts, but this is the latest BIOS revision. It is sped up 4 times, so hopefully it should be pretty speedy. Here we are putting the Ryzen 5 2600 into a system now. disassembling his old computer as well as reassembling the motherboard, because we had to actually put the original mounting clips back on that motherboard, which is really odd. And there's a GTX 1060 being removed, because the liquid cooler actually uses a clip mechanism. That will be shown a bit more later on when we actually install it. But it's really strange, never seen anything like that. So here's his old board and CPU and memory coming out for the transfer. But we zoom you in and focus for a little bit of a closer look. Here's the old board going out. And the new board going in. So here is that liquid cooler plate I was talking to you about with the two thumb screws on the top that clips onto the original mounting mechanism. Once again, a little bit odd, never seen anything like that before. Here are the finishing touches, like putting SATA cables through the front panel connectors, the GPU installation, and we're actually going to put the fans around the right way as well. So there's the last part of the actual upgrade, is the Windows install. So now we're going to show the benchmarks, and we're going to have the specs up on the screen now. So first of all, these are all overclocked, and the numbers will be provided in the actual benchmark windows. But first of all, my old system runs an Core i7 quad-core 4820K Extreme Edition CPU. Dima's old system runs a quad-core non-hyper-threaded 2500K, versus my new system, which is a Ryzen 7 first generation 8-core 16-thread CPU, along with the Ryzen 5 2600, which is a 6-core 12-thread second generation CPU. Motherboards are practically irrelevant, up from the fact that they're all overclockable chipsets and all were able to sustain the overclock provided. RAM, we're going from DDR3 on the old systems, 16 gigs per system in quad channel versus dual channel on Dima's old system, versus 16 gigabytes of DDR4, mine running at 3200 MHz and his running at 3000 but overclocked to 3200. The power supplies amongst all the systems are the same or stated there, and also lastly the storage are all on SATA SSDs, so no bottlenecks should be occurred during the benchmarks. The first benchmark is CPU Z, where we talk about single core and multi-core performance, where we are seeing an almost 2 times uplift in performance per system. However, the single core performance is very interesting, as the Ryzen 5 2600 does take that out, but only narrowly beating out his old 2500K at 4.6 GHz versus the 4.2 on his current Ryzen 5. The next benchmark is Cinebench R15, where we're talking the multi-core and single core. 2500K still narrowly missing out on the top spot for single core. The multi-core, however, will 2 or 3 times performance. Passmark is another one where we're going to have to pause for a second to talk about the floating point performance, where it's interesting the Ryzen 5 2600 does fall quite a bit behind here for some reason, and the 4820K does actually take out the single thread performance lead, probably due to the high level of cache involved there. The overall CPU mark is where things are really indicative of performance, where there's about a 50% uplift from the 2500K to the 2600, and also from about a 60% uplift from the 4820K to the 1700 as well, with massive numbers coming through the integer math performance as well. Next benchmark is user benchmark CPU test. We're talking about multi-core, quad-core and single-core performance, where the single-core is pretty even across all the CPUs. Same with the quad-core mixed, with the Ryzen 5 narrowly missing out top spot to the i7 4820K again, and also the 2500K only being a quad-core CPU. That's where that thing taps out. And multi-core mixed, which is 64 threads up to, we're looking at about twice the performance again versus the 2500K and the 4820K to the 6-core and 8-core counterparts. 3D Mark physics test, Firestrike physics test is quite interesting, as the FPS uplift for that test is about twice of the performance there as well, plus with a massive lead for the R5 2600 over the 2500K at 4.6 GHz, with the 4820K almost getting another 100% uplift versus the 1700. So massive wins for Ryzen compared to older generation CPUs. So that there concludes the benchmarks. We'll now move on to the money shot, or B-roll as we like to call it. how was that?
Good.
That was really good. I am really, really impressed with the results. I can't say I've built a better computer for a friend ever. I don't think.
I don't think that. I don't know, but
no. I mean, it certainly does look like it pays dividends in the results that what we've shown. Yeah. I mean, 2 or 3 times extra performance. It's really done well.
Shown it.
Yeah. I mean, did you enjoy the build?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was perfect.
Yep. And it just. Have you got a name for it?
Name for it?
Yeah.
Not yet.
Not yet. You're gonna have to think.
I'm gonna have to think, and I might get some. Oh, what did you say? Yeah, get names in the comments.
Yeah, and get names in the comments. Yeah, definitely.
I don't know what to call it.
It's black and white themes are coming into fashion.
Blue and white.
And theme. blue and white. Yeah, with a bit of black in there too.
There's the odd black in there.
Yep, definitely. Yeah. Got any names? Give us some in the comments. That's for sure.
I have no idea exactly what to call it.
No, not at all. No, it's it's a personal connection. That's for sure. That's definitely something that you have to feel.
Yeah, feel. Yeah. Well, I haven't used it enough to give it a name.
No, but certainly in the last 24 hours,
it's been stable as.
Yeah,
it's been stable as, even with a little bit of RAM overclocking.
Yeah, I mean,
it's still been stable.
Yep, yeah, definitely. And no, we did have some issues with the obviously the Hynix memory that's in those Corsair sticks, and because it's not always the most happy with Ryzen, but it seems to with what's happening with the BIOS updates and stuff like that, it's been a huge improvement in stability. That's for sure. And as we know with Ryzen, bigger RAM speeds also means bigger performance everywhere else in the CPU. So it was worthwhile trying to get that going for sure.
Yeah.
So in the future, I mean, just to pad out time a bit, I suppose. Yeah. What are you planning to do to it? Improvements wise.
RGB.
Everyone needs some RGB in life.
Silent fans.
Silent fans. Yeah.
It's probably noisy at the moment.
Yep.
And possibly a water loop.
Custom loop. Yeah. I suppose you've been quite inspired with what's been going on with mine in recent times.
A new monoblock. That's probably what they could do with as well. Probably.
Yeah, you can get them for that one. A funny story about that actually is because I actually owned this board before. I gave it back and my friend sold it on again to Dima, and because I was getting all my stuff for Computer Lounge, and they didn't actually have the monoblock in stock for that board, and that was part of the reason why I gave it back, because I thought I wanted a new water block. It would definitely help VRM temperatures and stuff with certainly Zen 2 coming out in the next year or so.
Zen Plus.
Well, Zen Plus and Zen 2. It'd help with that sort of thing. And then I was like, well, actually they had the Crosshair one in stock, so that's, as I said, so that's sort of why I went that one as well. But no, I'm happy that it's stable. The BIOS actually looks really good, because I've always been told the MSI is not the greatest, and the stability is a lot better. And once we got the BIOS upgrade to the Zen Plus support, it certainly did dividends. So, I mean, so thank you very, very much for watching. I'm sure there'll be plenty of content on the channel. Follow Dima on Twitter and keep up to date with the photos he's got up there as well and his usage. He might be starting a YouTube channel here in the future, just between you and I. And please don't forget to comment, rate, favourite, and subscribe. And I'll let you hear the video out.
Yeah.
Bye for now.
Bye for now.
Bye for now. Cheers. And see you in the next video.